along for our live demonstration, our Weave a Week session. Today we are doing Elfin. So just bear with me while I just open up a few windows and make sure that I can see everybody's comments and things. As usual, if there's anybody out there watching, just throw me a quick hello so I can make sure that I'm seeing everything. Fantastic. Hi, Wes and Dawn and Jenny. Great to see you guys. Who else have we got? Oh, Wes, you're a sweetheart. Thank you. Hey, Linda. How are you? I'm sure Chris says hello. Hi, Shirley. Good to see you, sweetheart. Hey, Rowena. Daryl. How's it going? Well done, Ace. Good. Hey, Debbie. All right. Sue. Wow, we're all lining up. Fantastic. Julie. How are we all going with the wet weather? Is everybody getting hammered or is it all finished for you? Eating fish and chips. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, the chips bit. I don't like the fish, but go on. Joe, no. Visitors. You've got to plan your visitors at 7:30, not 7. Hey, Susie, love. How are you? All right, fantastic. Cold? Yeah, it is a little cold. Oh, I imagine it's cold where you are, Daryl. Snow. Nice and sunny in Melbourne. Well, that's a turnaround for you. Oh, we weren't too bad here, actually, as far as the rain was concerned. I thought we were going to get a lot worse than we did. Hey, Ray. All right, fantastic. Okay, so we're doing Elfin this week, as you should all know. Now, Elfin's got a suggested AR of 4, and I'll just swap this over so we can have a look at some samples that I did up for you guys. Okay, so it's got an ideal AR of 4, which makes 14 gauge, calculates out to about 6.4 mil, so the 1/4 inch ID is perfect for it. So this is our 1/4 inch version here. 16 gauge calculates out to about 4.8, so the 3/16, which is the 4.76, is also almost ideal. 18 gauge calculates out to a 4, so I chose a 18 gauge 5/32 or 3.97. That one might be a bit harder to see. I've done that all in one colour. Hey, Pauline and Silver, glad you guys could join us. And then 20 gauge calculates out to 3.2, so I went with a 1/8, which is 3.18. And I have to say it is spectacular in 20 gauge. Very delicate. Can't get that close enough for you to see the details without it blurring out. But it's very pretty. Very pretty. So that's the 4 sizes for you, or the 4 gauges. Oh, I went on a red and pink theme, which I didn't even notice as I was doing them up. So that's that. Okay, so I'm going to be demonstrating in the 1/4 inch, 14 gauge 1/4 inch. Hopefully you guys that are weaving along have done up your chain. If not, you just need a piece of simple chain, a 111. Needs to be twice the length that you want your weave to be. And you just need to find the middle of that chain and pop some sort of holder in there, a twist tie, a paper clip, whatever it is that you like to use. Hey Catherine, how are you? Back safely from Blacktown? Okay, so we'll get this started. And this weave we're going to be flipping our weave over. There are a couple of ways you can do this without flipping. I decided to go the flipping route so that it got you guys ready for things like elf weave, where you do flip your weave over all the time. So what we want to do is, holding onto our middle ring, And we want to sandwich, position it so that we sandwich our second pair of rings in between the first pair. So the first pair sit on the outside and the second pair sit on the inside. No worries, Annette. We'll catch you next time, sweetheart. Okay, so you've got your rings positioned like this. And what we want to do is we want to put our coloured ring, this one here, and it's a bit fiddly. We want to stick it in the eye. Put all those down. That is formed by these rings. So when you've got your rings all together and you look at the side, you can see that there's an eye where all the rings meet. You see that there? We want to put our open ring through that eye, catching all 4 of those rings that we're holding in place. Okay, put that through, making sure we've got all 4 of them. Close that ring up, and it should look like this. Okay, so I'm now going to flip our work over, and we're going to maintain the rings in the same position as we did before, with the first pair being on the outside, second pair being on the inside, the third pair going on the outside. And this time we want to place the ring through the eye that is formed by the second and third pair of rings. So that eye is just in there. So we pop it through all those 4 rings, making sure we pick them all up. The second pair of rings are on the inside, and the third pair are on the outside. And we close that up. We flip back to the other side, which is our correct side. And our work now looks like that. Sorry, there we go. That might be a bit better. Okay. So we're back again on what I'm calling the front side. The way you can tell which side you're on is that first ring is sort of sitting on top. You can see it's got no rings coming through it, that first coloured ring. That's our upside. The other way is our back side. So front side, back side. All right, so moving down to the next set of rings. So our first set of loose rings that we haven't got any ring going through, they're the rings that need to go on the inside, and the pair of rings before that are the rings that need to go on the outside. So picking up one of our opened rings. Again, we need to put that through that eye that you can see in there. Making sure we pick up all 4 rings. Close that ring up. Hey Michael, no worries mate. Jump on in. Okay, so we've got our ring there. We want to flip that piece over to the other side. Okay. Making sure that the rings that we have just put the rings through are on the inside. The new set of rings that don't have any rings through them are going on the outside. Taking up our opened ring, putting it through the eye that's formed by all 4 of those rings. Make sure you pick all 4 of them up and that you go through both sets of eyes. Close your ring. Flipping your work back. It should look like this. Get that close enough for you. Cool. Alright, so we just keep doing that all the way down our bracelet. So our next set of rings, we make sure the rings that we have just put through are on the outside, and our first pair of loose rings, our new rings, are on the inside, and that we take one of our open rings up and we've put that through the eye formed by both pairs of rings. Make sure you pick up all 4 rings. You can see there, but all 4 rings going through eyes on both sides. Hey Bear, how you going? And we close that up. Okay, so our work looks like this. We need to flip our work over. Those rings there that we were just using, they go on the inside. Our new set of rings on the outside, and we need to put one of our opened rings through the eyes that are formed by the 2 pairs of rings. So go through there. There, making sure we've picked up all 4 rings. And we close that bracelet up. Okay. So if you don't want to do the flippy thing, I'll show you what you can do if you don't like the flippy. Okay, so we put our first ring in as we normally would of the pair. Okay, and if you don't like the flip, then what we need to do is we need to open our weave up a little bit. You can see that, so that we've got the second set of rings sitting on the outside there, and we just go through that eye and through the other eye. I don't do it this way a lot because it's easy to get the rings in the wrong position. I find flipping it over is the easier of the 2 evils. And you can see the rings there. Okay. Oops. Flippy is a little bit easier until you can see the pattern silver, as long as you can see it in your mind's eye where it's supposed to be. Not flipping, you know, you can do it, but it's certainly easier, I think, learning to stick with the flipping. So through those 4 pairs of rings there, going through both eyes. 4 pairs, 2 pairs of rings, 4 rings, 2 eyes. Flipping over to the other side, keeping those rings in the middle, and then the new rings on the outside. Again, going through the eye that is formed by the rings and closing it up. Oh, there we go, it wasn't sitting properly. Okay, so hey Ashley, if you find you're not picking it up correctly, don't get disheartened. just go back and feed the rings through carefully. It can be easy to miss the second eye on the other side. I've done it more times than I care to count myself. It's just a matter of being really careful with the placement of the rings and taking it slowly. Okay, we'll give away a copy of the tutorial this week while our session is live, so only while it's live. And guys, I'll reiterate again, I need to be able to send this to you via direct message, please. Otherwise it's too many steps, too much hassle, and it becomes a problem. So if you want a copy of the tutorial from me tonight for Elfin, if you can pop in the comments while we're live whether you'd like to be an elf or a dwarf. Let's pop that in there. Tell me what you which fair folk you would prefer to belong to while we're live, and I will send out a copy of the tutorial to you guys via message on Facebook in the next couple of days. So I'll get that out to you. Of course, the guys that have got our subscription already received their tutorials, so they've had them for a couple of days already. And I would just like to give a shout out thanks to everyone who has signed up for next month's, or our new sign-ups for next month. Really appreciate you guys coming on board with this product with us, and I hope everybody's enjoying what they get. A dragon elf. Okay, I've never heard of a dragon elf. Of course everybody wants to be a dragon. I'd love to be tall. I hear you, Michael. Yes, yes. I'm already a dwarf. I don't need to be a dwarf. Elf would be nice. Tall and slim and svelte. That would be lovely. Okay, so just continuing along. Putting first pair of rings on the outside, the second pair of rings on the inside. Putting the rings through the eyes. And close that ring up. Okay. No, that's all right, Margaret. You stay a member for each month until you stop the subscription. So if you signed up for the May, you will be automatically signed up for June and July, etc., until you decide you want to end the subscription. So there's no problem there whatsoever. Okay, so for those that want in on the June kits and haven't already signed up, you've got basically today or tomorrow to do that. Just to receive the kits for June, we'll be sending those out on Monday. Otherwise, if you sign up after that date, it'll be the July kits that you receive. And I think July might be a month where we get actually 5 weeks in. We must be heading for a 5-monther soon. So you'll be receiving 5 kits in July. That's good, Margaret. Okay. So is everybody happy with the video for this? Do you need me to go extra slow over a step, or are we fine? Look, it's just a little fiddly, Wes. It's not particularly difficult, but it is a little fiddly. And look, I have to admit, I spent more time undoing it, I think, initially, than I spent actually getting it right. Once you get it straight in your head, where to hold all the rings and how that weave should look, you'll be fine. But yeah, I spent a lot of time undoing rings because I thought I had it right, and then I would pull the weave, and then things would be out of place. So be kind to yourself if you don't get it first time around. Zigzagger colours. You must be missing one of the eyes, perhaps. Maybe you're not going through both sets of eyes. It's really hard. Okay, the 20 gauge, Jenny, I did 20 gauge 1/8, which is 3.18, which is pretty much spot on for an AR of 4. Sorry, I can't get a better picture of that. It is just beautiful. Very delicate. 14 gauge is so chunky, and then you look at the 20 gauge and it's almost looks like it's a different weave. It's very delicate. Yeah, like I said, it's I think it'll take a few goes. It certainly took me a few goes to get the pattern completely straight in my head. But yeah, if you just take it slow, hopefully the tutorial and between the tutorial and the video, you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you're right. It is very similar to barrels. The difference is the way the units connect to each other. But you're right. It is very, very similar to barrels, or double vision, as I like to call it. Okay, is everybody good? 14 gauge hurts your hands, even in the BA. Catherine, you're having trouble with the 14 gauge in BA? I think the kits that went out with the subscriptions were actually 16 gauge, I think, from memory. Okay, I'll put one more piece in. Small hands, pliers don't fit. What pliers are you using, love? Yeah, 16 gauge. I thought it was, Daryl. I thought I looked at the 16 gauge and decided that made a much nicer bracelet. I didn't want to torture you all by sending you 20 gauge. The sleeves. Yeah. The wubbers. I find the wubbers the heavy pliers. So if you're doing a lot of work with them, your hands can get tired very quickly with them. I have to say, that's why I like these Xerons and the Lindstroms. They're lovely light pliers. I don't have that problem. Okay. All right. But hopefully everybody gets that sorted. I'd love to see some of your work in the group if you get it done. Give us a shout out in the group if you do have some difficulties. If there's an issue with the video or the tutorial, guys, let me know. I'd love some feedback. As I said, it can be really difficult to describe how to do a weave, especially if something that seems obvious to me doesn't necessarily become obvious to somebody else. So, this is okay. All right. So, yeah, please, if you've got some feedback on the tutorials, I'd love to hear it, or even on the video, how we're doing the videos. If there's something you'd like to see us do, I'm not going to know till you speak up, so please let us know. As I said, I'll get this tutorial out to you guys in the next couple of days. But those that have already received the tutorial, if you've got any comments, let us know. We've got one more kit left for this month, and then we move on to our June kits. So again, as I said, you've got till Sunday night to sign up for the June kits. Otherwise, it'll be the next month with our subscriptions. I hope everybody's enjoying the subscriptions, the ones that have signed up. Oh, yep, don't forget, guys, the get-together tomorrow in Melbourne. Silver's put up some details in the comments. So hopefully you guys can pop in, and I'm hoping we can organise one in Sydney sometime soon, which would be really great. All right, so I think that's it. If nobody's got any further questions or anything. You got it now, Wes? Do you know what you were doing wrong? Were you not picking up the two sets of eyes, or? The easiest way, Jenny, I'll just switch it back here so you can see. The easiest way to tell which side you're on, your first ring sits on the top there like that. Doesn't have any rings. Your coloured ring doesn't have any rings coming through it. So that's your front of your weave. That's the back of your weave. So the front of your weave, you're always putting that first ring in on top, and the back of your weave, you're putting the second ring in. So that's easy, the way I find. Margaret, are you a member of the Aussie Mailers group? Because they've been talking about the get-togethers there in the group. I'm sorry, I don't know if you remember off the top of my head. If you're not, sign up for that, and you'll find the information there. But Silver will be able to help you out this time if you're able to make it. Fantastic. All right, great. All right, if anybody have anything else? That's great, Jenny. I'm glad that made some sense to you. Yep. All right, Margaret. Yeah, just search for Aussie Mailers, and you'll be able to. We have to authorise your membership, but that's no problem. We'll let you in. All right, guys. Well, I'll say good night then. If we're done, thank you so much for popping in and joining us again. Really gives us something to look forward to, and I love seeing you all here. I wish I could see all your smiley faces, but maybe one day. I'm really pleased she loved her bracelet. No worries, Rowena. Thanks very much, love. Take care. And I will catch up with all you guys next week. As normal, Wednesday we'll let you know what the next weave will be. And our subscribers will get their tutorials sent out. If you don't get your tutorials, guys, the subscribers, please let me know. It might mean it's gone astray or it's in your spam box or something. But let us know if you haven't received it by, say, Thursday. Let us know, and you should have it. We were a little bit later getting it out this week, but we generally get it out on the Wednesday. All right, guys, thank you very much. I hope you have a great night, and I will catch up with you all next week. All right, take care. Bye.